about these stupid women who went to space. I'm gonna put you on the other side because you're, like, how could they? Pat, did you
Yeah.
have you watched Lauren Sanchez? That woman, I mean, she looks like a blow up doll.
Yeah,
You
she's
seen
yeah.
her give the speech, or when they were asking like her little, I mean, what is going on there? This woman hates herself.
What did she okay, can you pull up the video? Because I only person I heard speak was Gail. She was the only person that I heard speak.
Okay, I'm gonna give a clip of I'm gonna WhatsApp myself some clip because this is this is part of the video I'm doing about them. So I just can't let it go. There's something so deeply wrong with this that it bothers me to no end. So I have
Mhm.
to do it. I have to do it, Pat. Wait, let me see if
Okay.
this is the one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's the one. Let me send it to myself, and then I'll download it, and then I'll play it to you, Pat. Um,
Okay.
I'll play it for you guys to see it. How do I do this to myself? Okay. Okay, I'm sending it to myself. I sent it to myself, and now I'm gonna download it for you guys to watch it. Because I just think there's something seriously wrong that these people are comparing themselves to. I don't know, Pat. I don't know what they think, who they think they are. You
Well, I think didn't they have to pay like $250,000 to even go on that mission?
No, no, not
Well,
all of them.
some of them did. So, you know, if you have the money to do it, then you do it, but expect people to be, critical, and some people will be happy you did it. Um, there's just so much going on in the world. I would hate to have to, think spending that kind of money to
Okay, I'm
do
gonna send.
that
Okay,
would
this is some
be
montage I
priority.
did. This is some montage I did. Okay, this is not the real thing. This is some montage I did. 500,000 for that. Nah. And then no, okay. This is a montage, a little montage. I'm just gonna give you a teaser because I just can't help myself. I just can't do it. I just can't deal with this because
Mhm.
it's like I'm serious, guys. What if there's? I'm sure there's other life form, and they're looking at these women and they're thinking, "Is this the best Earth has to offer?"
Space.
Wait, I'm using a clip, the intro of what you call it from Star Trek, and these
Mhm.
idiots.
Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Her ongoing mission: to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life forms and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before.
I just can't. I just can't. I just find
So,
it
w-
offensive. And then this
yeah.
is Gail. Okay, I have to play a little bit because it's with extra, so they have like the interviews that what's her name gave, um,
Mhm.
and yeah, she is saying that she is an astronaut and that okay. Wait, I have it here. And then she goes like, I don't like it. Wait, let me find it for you because she's been interviewed, right? So she's saying like she doesn't want to be called. She doesn't want to be called like. Okay, okay, okay. Here, I'll share this. This is that she doesn't like it, the people call it a ride. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard her say
Here
that.
she goes. Here she goes. Listen. Why does she go like that way?
I don't like that people are calling it a ride. A ride, you never see a man
Mute one of yours because there's an echo.
going up in space and they said, oh, we took a ride. We actually duplicated the route that Alan Shepard did. That's why it's called, this particular capsule is called the New Shepard. We duplicated that route. No one, he took that ride. It's always referred to as a flight or a journey. So I feel that that's a little disrespectful to what the mission was and what the work that Blue Origin does. I don't like that people are calling it a ride. A ride, you never see a I don't like that people are calling it a ride. A ride, you never see a
The memes are unbelievable, Pat. I mean, and then she says, we're astronauts. And I'm
I
like,
mean, that's ridiculous. No, you're not an astronaut. You're certainly not in that class. You took a journey to space.
not
That's
even
what it
that.
is.
It was, I mean,
This is what I don't understand. I saw a picture of their capsule in a capsule of another spaceship that went through the atmosphere, and it was so beat up from the entry into the atmosphere. You know how it's extremely volatile. It's a lot of energy, and you can see it on the outside of the craft. On theirs, it was completely white. It looked like it hadn't gone through anything.
yeah, but that's the people. I know a lot of people are talking about that is because
Okay.
they don't went beyond that where you need to. You see, they
Okay.
weren't really what you might call it. They were just in outside up high enough that you could see it black, but they were
Oh,
not
okay.
outside because
So they weren't outside of the
outside the stratosphere
atmosphere.
complete.
The
No, no,
stratosphere.
no, no,
Okay.
no, no, no,
Okay,
no,
well
no.
then that's why. And that right there is just more information to look at Gail with the side eye about being an astronaut. I mean, you did not even go to actual space then.
No, 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 Pat, because this is what people don't understand because it's like and also one of the things that did bother me is that the door opens inwards and a lot of
Right.
people and what a lot of people were saying, oh, this is, and there's a reason for that. It's because when you go up in certain pressure, even with airplanes, guys, the door closes from outside. Because if they open from inside like that, you know how the pressure is. But for some reason, he did it. It was the same with William Shatner when he went to space, right? So, because I went to look, because I said maybe this, but no, also with William Shatner, the door opened inwards, which is really weird because it should be, you
On the
should open from
outside.
yes, which is really weird.
Yeah, that is very weird. I
I just
mean,
want to say thank you to Michelle for this super sticker for you.
oh, thank you,
Yeah,
Michelle. Thank you,
yes, yes.
Michelle. There's my friend Michelle for this
There you
a super
go. There you
sticker.
go. But it's just, like I said, Trekkie, I am deeply offended. I wasn't even I don't get offended by religious stuff, but for some reason this really bothered me. I don't know why. It's just,
Yeah.
like I grew up with Star Trek and I remember thinking when I was a kid, "Oh my god, it's kind of those shows that it's always good versus evil and it's always exploring new life and and whatever you may say about Captain Kirk, he was a womanizer, but he didn't discriminate. He would do a green woman, like he would do an orange woman, he would do a black woman. I mean, he was a pig
Mhm.
in space, but he was an equal opportunity pig, like
Right, right, right.
so that was one of the things but and I was looking while I was doing these clips. I've been crying so much, Pat. This is why my voice is like that because oh, be quiet. I sent Pat that. Pat is cruel sometimes. I sent her that clip about Captain Kirk going into. I mean, Pat. That's Captain Kirk going into space. I mean, I have the clip here. Even the people, like when they were doing the thing with Bezos, that they had Captain Kirk. They
Mhm.
get chills. They go, Captain Tiberius Kirk is going into space, and because and I remember the whole world was watching. I was in
Mhm.
Norway, guys, and I remember everybody wanted to see Captain Kirk go into space, and boy, did he ever! And I was so happy. And then yes, Captain Tiberian Kirk. So no, so these women, but he didn't have that reaction. These women think they solved. I don't know. They think they found the cure for cancer.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't even get it. I really don't. I don't understand the purpose.
You know why I think it is though?
Why?
Two, and please send the chat. I want you to get involved. This is not political, but it is a fact that they haven't made such a big deal out of the astronauts that Elon Musk rescued. It wasn't such a big deal and such a big news. So I
Oh.
wonder if this is the way to overshadow that.
Oh,
Show you
interesting.
yes, I'm gonna
Okay.
show you something here, Pat. Because these people, with the Elon Musk thing, and he went, Elon, oh, Pat, we have to start watching Harvey Weinstein on trial.
Oh yes, I know Candace was talking to
Yeah, but
him.
he's going on trial.
So what is your I need to understand what's going on because I mean he's in jail for a reason, but then Candace was talking about how he may have been railroaded or something. Like
Okay, what happened? Okay, let me show you guys before we start talking about Harvey Weinstein, and you have to remind me because you
okay.
know that I forget. You know
Okay.
that very well, right?
Yeah.
You know that I forget.
Mhm.
This is the actual the astronauts.
And that view is from the
I'm mute.
WB-7, which is one of NASA's high altitude planes that is tracking. Now, because of the way that this camera is configured, it does look like it is dark, but it is indeed
350 to about 119 miles per hour. We can see
15 kilometers. Brace for drogue window.
we can see seat rotation happening inside the capsule. Great to get those first views of our crew members.
waiting the drogue deploys. This view coming from the WB-57 high altitude plane. And there you see it on your screen, drogue deployment.
Drogue descent rate nominal.
You can hear the crowd here.
Visual on 2 healthy drogues.
The crowd
Taking views of a calm, glass-like ocean off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida.
We can see the crew there using their restraints as resting places for their arms. This is a gorgeous bluebird day here that we have flashed down.
200.
Located in the Gulf of America off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida.
Oh wow. Nice. Yeah.
I'm back on Earth.
Wow. Amazing. You're unmute. Mm-hmm.
And SpaceX Freedom, splashdown. Good main release.
Copy splashdown. We see main chutes cut. Nick, Alex, Butch, Sunny, on behalf of SpaceX, welcome home.
Wow.
Now you're telling me that those women are calling themselves astronauts, but these people were going for a 10-day mission and they ended up staying for forever, 8
Yeah.
months.
Yeah. So that's pretty extraordinary. I mean, wow. Wow.
Yeah, but Gail King is offended that we don't call her an astronaut, and that little 4-minute ride was, you know, that even William, I was going to say Captain Kirk, even William Shatner didn't call himself an astronaut. He didn't. He was so humble. He started crying.
Yeah, I bet it was a great experience. I
Or
mean,
and
it
he was
humbled
90
him.
something, you know, and yeah, he was so humbled, and he said, "I hope I never let go of this feeling or
Right.
anything like
Yeah.
that." Another super sticker for PDina. Thank you guys, and you know
Oh,
that
thank
all
you,
the money goes
Gemini.
to PDina, and she has an amazing charity. We're gonna talk about the charity. We're gonna talk a lot about Meghan and Harry's. Pat, get ready for a lawsuit.
Gemini Bradshaw, thank you very much for the super sticker. Okay,
They
so
have
the
to get ready
lawsuit,
for.
because
Yeah, we're
I
gonna talk
know what I
about
want to
no.
say
We're
too.
gonna talk about the Weinstein thing. Okay.
Okay.
Weinstein, during the Me Too movement, he was accused of by 125 women.
Okay.
That's what it went down.
Okay.
He was convicted of 16, I think. Please correct me if I'm wrong. In New York, and then one in Los Angeles. But then he appealed, and
Okay.
he won the appeal because I mean, and I'll get to it in a moment. And then now the woman that he's appealing against, oh, apparently she was buddy buddies with him, and after every encounter, I'm going to call it that, um she still would write and said, "Oh, it was not nice to see you, can I see you again?" And then when she gave the description of his genitals, it was all wrong because he has no balls. And I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, guys.
Oh, he really is ballless?
Yeah, yes,
I mean,
he has no
really?
balls. Yes, apparently he had some form of illness or some shit like that, and they
Oh,
snipped it. He's like Otis.
Otis has balls.
Oh, he does. Okay, then he's worse than Otis.
Yeah.
So you
Oh,
haven't clipped
wow.
him?
My husband doesn't want to. I want to,
No,
but
I got that is such a man thing. I had to clip City, because he's like, yeah. So what
Mhm.
happened is that this girl,
Mhm.
it is amazing because apparently he was okay. And you worked in Hollywood, right, Pat? And you were in
Mhm.
Hollywood. I mean, it was up to you. If a guy said to you, "Okay, if you gave me a BJ, I will give you a role," like Megan did, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Allegedly, you have to say allegedly for legal. Oh no, I have that thing there at the bottom, so I'm okay. I don't have to say allegedly because I have the banner going saying that everything are opinions only. So,
Mhm.
if you want to give me a BJ and feature you and whatever, it's up to
Mhm.
you whether you want to do it or not, right?
Right. It should be up to you.
That
Yeah, of
is that
course.
is that is a dirty old man abusing his position, which is not right. But it's up to
Mhm.
you to decide whether you do it or not.
Right. Okay.
And there are plenty other actresses that have succeeded without having to do that.
Right. Okay.
Mhm. So the high lows, I see, Madeline. So the thing is though, now there's the emails because Candace has been interviewing guys, and with the emails, there is absolutely zero way that this woman was essayed by this man. In fact, she was trying to use his
Uh,
influence in order to get ahead and do stuff like that.
mhm.
Oh, thank you so
Okay.
much, Stacey Fuller. Thank you. Yeah, we love thank you. And we love to have
Uh,
you guys here. This is a great day. I hope you're having a
love
safe
you,
side.
Stacy. Thank you, dear.
And I hope you know what, too bad I can't drink wine or anything because my lupus is really flaring up because I we
Oh,
have so much we got so much to talk to you guys about tonight. And then so this is gonna be, and I'm gonna be covering it because I am so sick and tired of having these women making it harder for real victims.
right. So this woman was basically trying to have a friendship with him.
No, she had a friendship.
She had a
After
friendship.
every encounter, she would be, "Oh, I love what I
Right.
love
And so
tonight. Well, can you send me a ticket plane or send me this?" And then like this went on for a couple of years, 2, 3 years after each encounter.
okay, so yeah, so after every alleged assault, she still went back
Oh
to
yeah, she
be
would
his friend.
phone me, say how great it was and
Okay,
stuff like
so yeah,
that.
that's
And
that's not right. Mm-mm.
you know
That's
what I mean?
terrible.
Because it's
Mhm.
clear that she was trying to use him. Luke. Yeah, your Luke, Paula. Do you guys like my look? I don't have any make. I have eyeliner and lipstick. I don't put blush because I have my lupus and I have the butterfly going on. This is why I have my face back a lot because otherwise I look like a tomato up close.
Aw, but your cheeks look really pretty and rosy.
Oh yeah, it's called lupus.
Okay, that's what it does to your
It's
face?
called the butterfly. It's a butterfly. I used to think it was rosacea. It's like my
Oh.
fingers right now. Look how red they look and
Oh,
stuff.
wow, so how often does it flare up?
It whenever I'm stressed, and I'm deeply
Really?
stressed. Yes,
Okay.
I'm deeply stressed. I don't sound like it, and what I do is I try to humor to deflect stress.
Yeah.
Remember that friend of mine that I told you was stupid enough, and she was trying to do what she was trying to do now to leave?
Mhm, yeah.
Well, she got caught.
She did?
Ah, she's an imbecile. So
So what
I
is she gonna do?
well, I'll talk to you later about it. Ah,
Oh my
I'm so glad I didn't
god.
go. I'm so glad I didn't go. And it's but what is important is like these women.
Ow.
Oh,
Oh, this? Okay.
look at mine. Look at mine. Look at mine.
Look how calm.
Oh, God. You have seen City. You have seen City. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yes,
I
yes,
wish
yes. Hey,
she
Otis.
was.
Hi, hi.
I never met a dog that slept so much like City. I have never.
Yeah,
Ever. I mean,
it's
she
good. All
sleeps.
that barking she does. She needs her rest.
Let's keep
She does
the
a lot of
illusion.
barking.
Let's keep the illusion that she's a lady. It's like we keep the illusion of Megan being a lady. So this is what's happening. And
Okay.
also with the Blake Lively thing, did you find out? Did you hear
Hmm.
about that too?
About what?
Oh my God. People were trying to find out how the fudge they got that subpoena in order to justify getting the text messages, right?
Oh, I saw that she faked some subpoena.
Lawsuit with a shady company called Van Zam in 20 that was formed in 2020, which leads people to believe that she was having an affair with Ryan Reynolds even way back then when they were filming The Green Lantern, right? When he was married to Scarlett Johansson, right?
Uh-huh.
And she used that Van Zam thing in order to stage a fake lawsuit in order just to, as soon as she secured the subpoena to get the phone records, then she dropped the lawsuit, but she already had the subpoena.
Wow.
That
Okay.
is so shady.
Wow. That I don't understand. Certain people with their entitlement. I mean, why would you think you could get away with something like that? Right? Like you
And then the thing is though that so it shows premeditation.
Mhm. Definitely.
And these women, they just give us such a bad name, such a bad name. They give us such a bad name. I mean, she's nothing like Amber Heard. She's worse than Amber Heard. And apparently, this company was
Mhm.
involved with Taylor Swift in doing a video with Taylor Swift or something like that.
Oh, okay.
There's no way that the Swifties coming out of this one. So
Right. She's pulled into it now for sure.
absolutely, Pat. Absolutely. I mean,
Oh,
she's
wow.
done. She's done. And I don't even think, guys, that she's going to be able to get away from all of this. Now, Pat, how do you want to start? Do you want to start today? You know what? I
Hmm.
want that we talked about positions of trust and what's going on
Mhm.
and all kinds of things and the Muslim women and that there's a new lawsuit coming on, right?
Okay, around the women,
Muslims, yeah. Oh my goodness, I am so glad they reached their goal. They reached and surpassed their goal. They were asking for they needed 27,800 and they are over $30,000. That is great. So what
okay.
I thought I should let you guys know, because I've been confused about this, because I told you we talked about it yesterday, right, Pat? That I was
Mhm.
confused about, because in the Constitution, guys, you know that there's an article that says that you're not allowed to accept royal titles, right?
Mhm. Yeah, we know
And
that
people were
exists.
saying that no, that's for government employees. But it doesn't say that. It is not that. It says that
Okay.
it's for positions of trust. So
Okay.
I went directly to the government, what they define as positions of trust. And it's
Mhm.
the scope as the policy. This policy establishes guidelines to be used in screening candidates for positions of trust and identifying what those positions of trust are.
Okay.
What you
Okay.
define by positions of trust.
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then they go, there's a few categories, okay? And
Mhm.
then they said that in accordance with the following guidelines, appointing a person of trust is a person who is in a position of trust which exists within an agency, organization, government, or private sector.
Okay.
For example,
Okay.
they give an example. The director of human resources is a position of trust. A CEO is a position of trust. I, for example, when I used to work, and I wasn't working for the government, I was working for an organization. I was in a position of trust. So you have
Mhm.
this is why they do your security clearances, and this is why your security
Mhm.
clearance is the most important thing. Um,
Mhm.
and then they do what the categories are. And they go category one, which are senior government officials whose positions involve a significant degree of responsibility and authority,
Mhm.
senior officials in the private sector whose
Okay.
positions involve a significant degree of responsibility and authority. Included in this group would be heads of offices, heads of state, department, agencies, bureau heads, like, for example, government
Okay.
heads and their senior deputies. And then you have personnel consultants at high levels in private organizations, chief financial officers of private organizations. So it's basically any position of trust where they are responsible of others.
Okay. They're responsible for others' position of
Yes,
trust.
yes. For
Okay.
example,
Got you.
if you're a director like, and even senior advisors, even individual senior advisors are such are considered positions of trust. For example,
Okay.
Well, yeah. And then they have category 2, individuals who can significantly influence the financial interest of third parties in the public and private sector.
Okay. All right.
For example, in this case, it would be a celebrity.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Individuals who can because, for example, if a celebrity comes and endorses something, you will do that because people trust them. That's what
Exactly.
positions
Yeah.
of trust are.
Mm-hmm.
This group includes those involved in procurement, licensing, benefits, eligibility, loans, settlement, property valuation, public charities,
Okay. There you
employment
go.
agencies,
Mm-hmm.
companies, any public person who can influence the outcome of product purchase.
So they would definitely, well, Megan would be in that category where she would not be allowed to have this HRH or this title.
So, no, we're
I
getting to
mean,
that. And then we go category 3. Individuals who have access to resources
mm-hmm.
highly
Okay.
susceptible and that have a large reach to the public. Who is
Mm.
that? That means people with a huge platform.
Yes. And she does, because everything she does makes the news. I
Harry.
mean, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, people or individuals who handle cash, checks, and other receipts other than the funds less than $100. Individuals who collect money, raise money, individuals who have custody of inventories susceptible to theft,
Mm-hmm.
people who own companies, individuals who
Mm.
sell surplus property, and individuals who authorize payrolls and other disbursements. In this case, Meghan Markle, because they have a company.
Okay. All right.
Category 4. Okay. Individuals who can materially affect the financial and related systems of a company, city, or country by manipulation or sabotage.
Okay.
This would include chief financial officers, people
Yeah.
responsible for budgets, CEOs, or
Mm-hmm.
anybody overlooking any type of money transaction.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and then they go category 5. Other sensitive positions, such as board members of public charities, board members of private companies, board members, even if it is only, wait, it goes to the second page. Sorry, guys. You know that even if it's honorary. So even if you're
Okay.
an honorary board member, so
Okay.
Meghan and
Gotcha.
Harry are honorary board members of a public charity in the United States.
Right. Right. Okay.
I was going to speak Spanish. Individuals who work with children, such as school nurses, outreach work. This is category 6. Outreach workers or counselors or people who work with in the mental health sector. We have
Mm-hmm.
and our youth program. For example, you are in a position of trust, Pat, because you run a charity and you work
Yeah.
with children in the youth and you work in youth opportunity programs.
Okay. Wow. So I would even be considered.
Exactly.
Okay.
Category 7. And this
That's
is,
interesting.
I immediately thought of Harry. Individuals who have access to others' personal information.
Mm,
This
yeah.
group includes persons with access to any personally identifiable health information, financial information, educational information, or personnel information. Because Harry's part of that, what's it called, that group? The one that Aspen group.
Yeah, the Aspen Group. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Meghan and Harry, because they're the owners of the company, they have access to financial information,
Mm.
education, because they're CD.
Okay, so if you have this, so what does it mean in terms
Maybe
of
because we're going to get to the following, guys.
okay.
It comes to that rule about the royals. If a U.S. citizen can hold a royal title, because
Mhm.
remember I talked to you about it, and I'm going to show it to you guys here. Let me see if I have the right one. I have it highlighted. It's just here. Here it is. It says the United States Constitution, adopted on September 17th, 1787, came into effect on on 4th March 1789. Article 1, Section 9, limits on legislative power. Paragraph 8 reads, no title of nobility shall be granted by the United States. This is the United States granting a title, right? So we
Mhm.
know that the United States did not grant Meghan Markle that title.
Right. Okay.
And no person holding any office of profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of the Congress, accept of any present emolument, office, or title of any kind whatever from any king, prince, or foreign state. Now, a lot of people have misunderstood that holding any office of profit or trust means the government. It is not. An office of profit is not a government office because you're
Oh,
working for the people,
okay. Okay.
or trust. It could mean government, because of course, Ronald Reagan, when the Queen, she got on fire with him, she wanted to knight him, and she did, but he did have to ask permission to Congress.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting. Mhm.
So yeah. So this is where it was the problem. And I mean, I'm not an expert on this guy. So I reached out to somebody who is. And because I was saying to him, but doesn't an office of profits or trust, it's the same thing? And he goes, no, 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 Paula. If it said any person holding a government position, but
Right.
that's not what they're saying there. Any office of profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of Congress, accept. Basically, Meghan, when she married Harry, prior to accepting the title, she didn't get the title. That's another thing that people don't understand. Out of courtesy, she gets to use her husband's title. The one who got the title is Harry, not Meghan Markle, because Meghan Markle is not a blood royal.
But didn't she get it so she got it as the wife of a royal?
No, Pan, no, no.
No?
No, no, no. Okay. The Harry gets a title.
Okay.
Because he got a title, the Queen allowed her to use the title of her husband. If she wanted to, she can't be called
Okay.
Princess Meghan. She would be called Princess Henry.
Okay, but what
Princess
is it?
Henry.
So if they divorced, I heard that she would then be called princess, no?
No, why would
I
she?
don't know what it was the circumstance of when.
I'll tell you this because I actually sent this. This is about Princess Diana, and I have that too.
Oh, okay. That's probably what I'm referring to. I think
Yeah,
that
no,
needs to
no,
be
no, no, no,
explained.
no. Princess Diana, actually, her right thing is Diana, Princess of
Princess of
Wales.
Wales, right.
But everybody just called her Princess Diana.
Got you. Right.
Which wasn't correct. She was Diana, Princess of Wales.
Right.
But we
Okay.
just loved her so much, it was Princess of Wales.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then he goes, as if this was not clear enough, Republican Senator Philip Reed in January 1810 introduced an amendment that, after twice being considered by a committee, was approved by the Senate by a vote of 19-5. Keep in mind, guys, that this is 1810, okay? So there weren't that many states integrated.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
House then,
Yeah.
on May 1st, 1810, approved the amendment by a vote of 87-3. This read, if any citizen of the United States shall accept, claim, receive, or retain any title of nobility or honor, or shall, without the consent of Congress, accept and retain any present, pension, office, or emolument, I hope I'm
Mm-hmm.
pronouncing it correct,
Mm-hmm.
of any kind whatever, from any emperor, king, prince, or foreign power, such a person shall cease to be a citizen of the United States and shall be incapable of holding any office of trust or profit under them or either of them.
Yes. Now, see, that makes so much sense because imagine if Meghan and Harry came to the States on good terms with the royal family, and they came here and they have these titles and they are actually doing work on behalf of the royal family in the United Kingdom. That would not be, I think, in the long term good for America, especially just playing out a scenario if they had nefarious, I guess, underlining things that they would want to do in the States. We know that not to be the case, but it would make sense that you would not be allowed to be in a position of trust if you are here with these titles. That really that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, the problem is that second part, it's still in Congress, but it hasn't been ratified.
Oh,
It
okay.
just needs
Interesting.
signatures, but it's still there since, like
Wow.
in 1815, it's still there. All it needs is for people to push and push and push and contact all your representatives and have them sign it because it hasn't been banned or anything. It's still there
It's
since
still there.
1815.
Okay, so
The second part.
okay, the second part. Okay.
But what it means is the first part means that Meghan cannot use her titles because she's a US cannot use her titles in the United States for profit because she's a US citizen, but Harry can.
So why is it that whenever she does something, it's Meghan, Princess, Duchess of Sussex, she's clearly using her title for a lot of things that she's
But
doing
it's
in the
not a
court.
it's because nobody has really enforced this because this has never
Yeah,
happened before.
yeah.
For
Well,
example, Jamie Lee Curtis, you know that she's a baroness?
oh no, I didn't know that.
Yes, I think, yeah, she's a baroness, but she never calls herself baroness in the United States, only when she goes to England.
Okay, so how is it that Meghan can do
Because
what she's
nobody
doing?
has done it exactly, because nobody has called her out on this. Because I talked to this guy who's an expert at this because I didn't understand. I said, wait a minute, but isn't it a government? Because and then it goes, no, any office of profit or trust it could be a private sector because actually official government officials are not supposed to be profiting. They're serving the people. They're not profiting from the people.
Right, yes, yes. Interesting. So, well, who would be the person to take it up? Someone needs to bring it up in Congress and
Well,
kick her.
somebody should point that out to Trump or to your MPs because you see, isn't it an irony? And then this article here, because and the guy was kind enough to send this to me because it talked about a royal constitutional question. On Saturday,
Okay.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will exchange wedding vows at Windsor Castle. So, what happens to an American citizenship status of newest member of Britain's royal family? Because don't forget
Yeah.
that Meghan Markle, as a US citizen, she wasn't a British citizen. She could not legally represent the Queen of the United Kingdom in any capacity abroad because she was still an American citizen. And Meghan was
Ah,
still, you know how you pledge allegiance to the United States?
yeah.
But
Yeah.
nobody called it out.
So that's interesting that nobody has called it out. It's never really even come up
Well,
outside
people have been bringing it up, but for some reason it has been.
YouTubers, yes, but I'm saying within the mainstream media, they don't talk about it. No one's talked about it that
Because
I've
they don't like to talk about this because you know what I've started hearing? Oh, that because people were saying that William is going to take away the titles. Oh, he's not going to be vengeful. That'd be so petty. Why would it be so petty to look out for the monarchy and the reputation of the monarchy?
I think people expect him to do something.
No, no, no. But why? The press is giving it that spinning. So
Right, but
to
the
make it
people
look
expect
petty.
it. Right. But yeah, I think it's not. I think he's looking out for the monarchy. He's clearly making decisions that his father won't make. I mean, at what point do you decide that we've got to make consequences for their actions?
I mean, it's not even that, Pat. I mean, it's like
Yes, it is. What do you mean it's not
no,
even
no,
that?
yeah, okay, but for example, I'm saying making it rules as to who has title, who holds titles. I really do believe that only okay, let me give you an example. Prince
Yes.
Edward, when he got married, he was not made a duke. Like people say, oh, it's the tradition. Yet Prince Edward wasn't made a duke. He was told later when the Duke of Edinburgh dies, you're going to get it, and then Charles didn't want to give it to him, and he was pressured into that for public by the public. But he
Okay.
didn't get a dukedom when he got married.
Okay. So
It's
what's your
up to
point?
the
What's your
monarch.
point? What's your point?
I'm saying that it shouldn't be an automatic thing. That okay, for example, in Japan,
Mhm.
when the princess is married, there's one living in New York right now. She gave it's customary. They tell them go get an education because when you marry, and if you're not going to inherit the throne, and you marry, you're no longer a princess like the princess that's living in New York.
Okay. Okay. So
That's
what?
that's the norm.
Because they're blood royals, right?
And they're blood royals, but she has to
Okay.
give up the title because she marries a commoner, and then she went and lived in New York, so she ceased being a princess. It's
Mhm.
there should be rules for that, but apparently they think, oh, it's and I've been listening to this about a lot of royal experts. Oh, it's vindictive. Why is it vindictive to have rules that would keep the monarchy respectful,
Yeah.
transparent, and because
Yes.
the
And
coin of the monarchy is its trustworthiness, respectability, that people look up to it
right. They look up to it. And
and that they
it's
believe in the monarchy.
And it's been devalued, I think, by a lot of the actions of Meghan with her branding. But can I just point out to Christine Powell Gomez, thank you for your super chat. She's saying, good afternoon, ladies. Do you think that the crayon eater will divorce the harlot if King Charles abdicates? I need to know what your opinion is on this, because I think we all know that something's going to happen. Something's going to happen.
And I also want to thank Elizabeth for the super sticker, guys. You guys are being amazing. Thanks for helping us so much, but mostly for being here. You know what, Pat? I just want to say something, because a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people that Meghan, yes, she can use the Duchess of Sussex title in the United States. No, she can't. Harry can, because Harry's not a U.S. citizen.
But Meghan can't.
But
Yes,
Meghan
she can.
can't,
And she
because
does it all the time. Yeah.
she can't benefit from a royal title, from a foreign title in the United States.
So this is why William has to act. He's got to
No, the United States has to act.
well,
Basically,
and
all
the
you
in the
have to
United
write your MPs
States.
and ask
In
him
the
to pass
yeah.
the pending, and it's right here. I have it right here, because the guy sent it to me, and he gave the whole story. He gave me the article, and I'm going to make a post with the article, because he talks about the tax issues, right? Because at the time when Meghan was married Harry, everybody thought that she was going to become a UK citizen, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you see, and he talks about the pledge of allegiance, that you, as an American, you can only pledge to allegiance to your United States of America,
Mm-hmm.
in case,
Mm-hmm.
what if you go to war with the country, if you're a multiple citizen?
See, yeah. So
You
somebody better
understand?
do
So in the United
something.
States, you have the pledge of allegiance, so you can.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Meghan couldn't. To me, it was when the guy, like, explained it to me yesterday, I was like blown away, because
Mm.
nobody wants to bring these things out,
Nobody wants to
because you
make
see,
it seem
if
like
the
they are
mainstream
against
media,
her.
because if the media brings it out, they have to do
Mm-hmm.
something about it.
Well, somebody better say something. Somebody needs to say something.
Well, the Americans can write to their MPs and ask to have that act passed. And I will leave the link, guys, for you, so you can write to your MPs, because it's a position of trust. It's not a government position,
Well,
because
we
a lot
don't
of
call them MPs here.
your senators or whatever,
Yeah, your
congressmen or
congressman.
whatever,
Yeah.
you write to your congressmen, your representatives, and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you tell them that it's the, what's it called? It's called the United States Constitution, adopted on 17th September 17th. The fact section, limits of legislative powers, and then no title of nobility. And I will leave you all that, so you can write to that, and it is on the article. And it's funny, because it has British origins. It's
Yes.
Article 1, Section 9, Paragraph 8, was actually a formal statement of a prohibition which already existed in practice in Great Britain
Right. That's what we were doing. Like it's
since
like we
the
were.
reign of Elizabeth I.
Yes.
The,
Yes.
the state that had refused to recognize foreign titles and foreign orders of knighthood could not be worn without royal assent.
Okay, so
And
let me ask you this. So every time she uses her title when she's out and about doing things, she's breaking the law, isn't she?
well, the first part, yes. The other part, this is the part she has, because only because she is a U.S. citizen, and that part says that she cannot profit from royal titles,
Mm-hmm. So she needs to take it off of her website where she's
or
selling
and
things.
from the board of trust, because she's in the board of trust,
Yep.
and the Sussex. Remember that we talked about in her tags. She
Yep.
appears as Duchess of Sussex, as a board member of Archwell.
Yeah. So she needs, there's a lot she has to do, but she's not doing it. And this is why, and I know it's not he's not an American and, but the William has to do something. He literally has to make a move around these titles when he's king. All the more so. I'm sure maybe he and Trump, they talked about it. Maybe some people are talking about it. Somebody needs to talk about it because she should not be doing it. So it's almost like
I do.
save
I
her
just
from
want to say
herself.
something to Diane Ramos. I do, but I'm asking all of us to do it. not just me. The whole point is that everybody should be writing to your congressman and statemen, and everybody's saying, "Can you? I'll tell you exactly what it is, and I'll leave it in a post, and I'll leave it under the description here.
Mm-hmm.
It's there. It's in Congress. All they
Yeah.
have to do is ratify it, and basically, Meghan Markle will have to make a choice on whether to use the title or lose her U.S. citizenship.
Yep. Because she should
And if
lose
she
it.
loses her U.S. citizenship,
Mm-hmm.
she can't get it back. Like she would have to go through like everybody. And Harry's not a U.S. citizen.
Right. Right.
It would be that her mother would have. It would be like anybody else. She would have to go through the process of everybody else trying to get a residency.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That would be amazing. She should have to do that.
But
Something needs to
we're
happen.
leaving it at the hands of guys in the United States. You can do it because the law is there. It just needs to be ratified.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then
You
people would
know,
say, "Oh, they're being racist towards Meghan." They'd say something stupid like that, and people brought it up. But I think it needs to be brought up for sure.
yeah, and it's not government. Please read it. And in one of that sentences, but I said to the guy, but it says government. It says where, Paula? Where does it say position people working for the United States government? It says positions of trust for profit.
Mm-hmm.
For profit. People in government. I know that people are now profiting, but it's not like that. People in government usually don't make high wages, and it is to serve the people of the United States.
That's
It's
right.
not to profit from the people of the United States.
Now, Michelle is saying, thanks, Michelle, for your super chat. She's saying, why Duchess of Sussex if they divorce? So, like, what changes? Like, when they divorce, something changes in her title.
Yeah. Well, she already changed it because she removed the.
Well, yeah. So,
Okay,
how,
I
how
just
do
want to
we
also
answer?
do
Okay, how
context.
do we address Michelle's question? Because I'm trying to
Okay,
understand.
I'm gonna address it to you because yesterday I was watching a show, and actually it was in Kinsey Schofield, and she had this royal expert who said that Princess Diana is the one who has to give up the HRH.
I
That is a
saw that.
total
Yes.
lie. That
Wait
is
a minute.
absolutely yes.
Wait a minute. That is right. The Queen removed it from her, didn't she?
Yes, and they also said, Princess Diana did not want to give up her HRH. That is an she did want to give up the security.
The security
She
she did, but
never
not the
wanted to give up.
HRH. That's exactly
And the
right.
Queen, by the way, did not want to take it away. It was at Charles' insistence. Charles wanted the Queen not to allow Diana to use any of his titles. He wanted Diana to go back to being Lady Diana. And the Queen said no. So the Queen took the HRH. If the Queen hadn't taken the HRH, then she wouldn't have needed to make a letters patent. And I'm showing you the letters patent here. Okay.
Mhm.
And this is the problem because you see and I've did this video before, Pat. When
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
Fergie's divorce came through in April 1996, the same year as Diana, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in April. What's her name? As Fergie was still called HRH. And she was called HRH, and that was not a problem. The problem was that when Diana and Charles were divorcing, Charles wanted to strip Diana. Then the Queen and the Queen said, she's the mother of the king. She shouldn't be. She didn't want to do it, but she did it anyways. She left her with the other titles, but except the HRH, because the HRH means that she has to bow and curtsy. She has to curtsy to everybody else because she's not royal, even to her ex-husband or whoever, right?
Okay.
And so the thing is that the Queen then had to make a letters patent. This is the actual letters patent, former wives. And if you look at this was made on the 21st day of August on the 44th. This is basically on 1996. And then
so a year before she passed.
Yeah, but this was a month before the divorce of Princess Diana.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why Fergie stopped being HRH. You see, this is what was published. It says the Queen has been pleased by letters patent under the Great Seal of the Realm, dated 21st August 1996, to declare that a former wife, other than a widow, until she shall remarry, of a son of a sovereign of these realms, of a son of a son of a sovereign, and of the eldest living son of the eldest son of the Prince of Wales, shall not be entitled to hold and enjoy the style, title, or attribute of Royal Highness.
Okay.
Yes. And this was published in the London Gazette, issue 54 510, August 30th, 1996, page 11603.
Interesting. Okay.
So, yes. And this was published before the divorce became final. Because so when I watched that royal expert, he's lying. He's not right.
Yeah.
Or he doesn't know his shit because Diana didn't want to lose her HRH. This
She
is why
sure
William,
didn't. Yeah, he's going
this
to
is
give
why
it back to
William,
her.
yes. And yes, exactly.
I can't wait for
So,
William to be
what
king.
I'm
I
trying
can't
to say
wait.
to you, yeah, me neither. What I'm trying to say to you about the title, guys, because I want to go up to this and I want to thank the lady at Buckingham Palace who sent me this. That the letters patent
Mm-hmm.
in 1917, a monarch can absolutely remove any titles. And I've shown you this letters patent. Okay. And this
Mm-hmm.
letters patent, basically, this was in 11th December 1917 when the king said that only the sons of the monarch and the sons of the eldest of the sons of the monarch
Mm-hmm.
and the grandchild of the eldest son of the monarch shall enjoy the title, are entitled or could use the style HRH and the title prince or princess, not the female kids. This is why Princess Anne's kids were not automatically entitled, but the queen did offer to give her a title. So,
Mm.
and the reason that I'm bringing this up is because the king decided enough. There's too many prince and princesses of the United Kingdom. So
Mm-hmm.
we're going to narrow this because this is costing money, and now we're going to be subsidized by the government because in 1919 is when the government they struck a deal that the government was going to subsidize them with taxes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the king can absolutely, the monarch can absolutely decide, you know what? Only people residing in the United Kingdom, born in the United Kingdom, and working royals of the United Kingdom can have a royal title. And that would exclude Harry and all his descendants.
Yeah. So clearly they are uh well, not doing things as they are intended here in America, right?
Yeah. And one thing that I want to show you guys, because you see, just want to show you how up to the monarch this is. Because here the queen addresses when she's writing the letter. You know, she says, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God. I love how they wrote these things, Pat. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She acknowledges here that wives that were no longer married to or ex-wives, they used to be called Royal Highness.
Okay.
It was the tradition back
Mm-hmm.
then. They were called, that they should have style or that that was normal, that they enjoyed their royal highness style. That was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
There
That was
was
how
a
they did
letters
things.
patent dated 30th day of November on the 8th year of his reign. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So someone was making a good point. I think it was Lady Siege talking about they're going to be running out of money. They're going Meghan, especially with this most recent blow up around the support for Israel and the removing of the funding for the Muslim women at that foundation or the charity that she was giving support to since 2023. There's been a lot of backlash online. So this person that just put up a super chat was asking a question. It was the orange one, Paula. What was she saying? This one. Ziggy Lee is a chick with a crown. Okay. Nice. Thank you. She's tried to be fair to H&M, but every day it's something with this girl. What do you think could be the next money making move? And this is a very important question only because they don't have an income stream. They don't have Megan's not going to be able to make the kind of money she thought she could with all this backlash. I mean, have you seen the backlash from the Sussexes, the Sussex squad? And so, and this is why you don't do politics when you're in royalty, because that's not your place to do politics. And I think Meghan is trying so desperately to get into a a position of politics and other things. It's not just selling jam. Like, this is a move for her professionally. And now that she has done this, it has backfired. How are they going to make money? How are they going to be able to sustain themselves? I personally think that was like them shooting themselves in the foot with their future. I don't see how they can make it. I don't see how they can have anything that's going to be a money making venture to help them live a sustainable life here in the States. What do you think?
Mhm. Unfortunately, I think that Harry is protected. And as long as Harry is protected, Meghan will be protected. And Meghan will be protected
Mm,
because she will always be the former wife of a royal, just like Fergie
mm.
is.
And with the kids now too.
Yeah, let's
I
say that.
mean,
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
know the story behind that, but I'm just saying, if you look at it head on about the kids, yeah, this is a situation where she will probably be protected, but I don't know that she will try to remain in the position where I think she would be protected, because she is going to try to make it so horribly bad for him. Why would they want to protect her? How could they?
Well, look at Fergie.
Well,
Fergie got caught with on camera selling axes, which is an illegal
yeah,
crime.
but she
It's a
maintained a good
crime.
relationship with her ex.
Pardon me?
Diana, she maintained a good relationship with her ex. Diana didn't have a good relationship. Look what happened to her. I don't see how Meghan can be protected, especially if she is no longer in
The
good
royal family
graces.
needs protection from Meghan, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. So Meghan, I think, is put herself in a very, very bad situation if she ever leaves Harry. She's not going to be protected. She's going to be in a very, I think, dangerous position, because she is going up against a very powerful institution. I'm sorry, but how
Hmm.
can you?
Well, let me show you. You know what, Pat? This is, I'm going to show you. This is the, I'm going to show you this. This is the people that you're referring to, the Muslim Women's Coalition response
Yes.
to Archie Foundation, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's interesting. I mean, you guys that have read the letter. The lady did not. This is interesting because when this lady wrote the op-ed in the Milwaukee Journal paper, which is incredibly well respected, they don't promote hate speech or anything. She was just asking for the war to end, right?
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
Palestine, and say, speaking up for Palestinian people, and they work with Jewish people and Christians and all kinds of faith.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's insane. So she said, silencing women of color who speak out against injustice perpetuates the very harm your foundation purports to address. Yielding to
Or-
pressure from
Mhm.
Islamophobic and anti-Arab media compromises your credibility and undermines your mission. In choosing PR over principle, you betray the communities you claim to uplift. Who you fund is ultimately your decision, but we ask that you retract your defamatory statements and issue a public apology, not to salvage our reputation, which remains pristine, but to salvage yours, which MWC's proven track record, driven by Jewish, Muslim, and Christian staff. We are confident that more credible foundations and generous donors will continue to support this vital work.
Mhm. So I mean, I've been seeing a lot of videos on X of ex Sussex squad people really, really wanting nothing more to do with Meghan and Harry.
Yeah, and this is somebody launched a campaign for them, and now they're up to the reform. It says support Muslim war cut by Prince Harry charity for standing up against genocide, and then they show them that there, right? It says Prince Harry's charity cuts funding of Muslim Women's Coalition after op-ed supporting freedom for Palestinians from Israel, genocide and apartheid, deems
Okay.
all anti-Semitic, right?
Yeah.
And what is interesting is that this is the lady here, and then
Mhm.
they put the letter here because,
Yeah.
and what the problem was, Pat, and this is what I don't get. Why did Harry and Meghan have to make it public?
Why are you involved in politics?
No, but why did they have to make it public? They could have cut funding. You know why it is though? Because They donated after she wrote that op-ed in 2024, but they thought that Trump wasn't going to win. Now, Trump is hard on Israel and anybody who speaks against Israel or who is pro-Palestine.
Wait a minute. I thought they made their first donation in 2023.
Yeah, but then they donated again in 2024 after she had written that op-ed. And they've
They
known
have
that
been,
this is
yeah, but they have been donating
pro-Palestine.
then.
Yeah. And they've known that these people are pro-Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like when they made the donation to Joe Biden's daughter and stuff like that, right?
Okay, yeah. See, it's all with the motive. There's always a
They
motive.
thought that Joe Biden,
Yeah.
that Kamala was going to win.
Right.
So they kept supporting these causes. And this is why I said these people don't have any moral compass, because now that Trump is won, now they want to cut off everything now they're calling that hate speech. People who they supported in the past. And this gives you an idea on how shifty, how traitorous they are. They don't have a moral stance. They don't have anything. They don't stand for anything. But my point is that they could have just got funding without having to issue a statement. But they did it in order for Trump and the Trump president to hear, listen, we're not part of it. They're cowards. That's just my take on it. I mean, what do you guys think?
I think you never know why they could have made that public, that statement. I think they were trying to send a message, maybe. Like what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know, but I think it's trying to show some type of leadership. They're trying to show some stance on something to embolden themselves in what they stand for and what they want to be a part of, or to send a message to those that are supporting Israel, align with us. I mean, there could be many different reasons, but I think it just shows you how not well equipped they are to be a brand that can be taken seriously. I think they have made decisions and choices that have made them look very not well groomed in a if that's I'm lack of word. I'm trying to figure out the word that I would use for this, but they just seem like they're chaotic agents. They just are out there trying to see what sticks, what works. There's nothing behind them. See, at least when they were part of the royal family, they were a part of something much bigger than who they are. And now they want to feel like there's still these big fish, but there's no institution, there's no people behind them that in which they are representing. They're representing their own interest. And that is the part of the problem. They have, this is why they will never be successful with whatever they're doing. They're like these lost sheep that have wandered off the pasture, trying to, make themselves feel well represented or well, like pay attention to us. But who are you? You're nobody. We're not, and it's just like the ego is so incredibly large and disorganized and not ready to do any good thing to be well liked. Because they've done so many bad things. It really is so astounding to me that this couple is out there doing what they are doing. I mean, look at all the people that talk about them. All the people, look at what Megyn Kelly has done. Have you seen her show, her mocking of Meghan's show?
Yeah.
I mean, the choices that they've made, the things that they have done have gotten them in a position where they're mocked by late night television. They got now Megyn Kelly out there doing skits mocking them.
I'm gonna do one.
We should.
I'm gonna be cooking with both hands, guys.
Yeah,
over the stove so all the hair falls into the food.
Right. It's like, girl, go sit your butt down. I mean, I just think it is so bad. It is cringe. It is such a big, majestic, what is this? I mean, oh God, like you learn from it. What is it called when you a study? It's like it should be like a study in bad
bad choices.
Yeah, like people could study this to
how a
understand
brand
what you
falls
don't
apart.
do.
Learn what to
Yeah.
do when you want to destroy a
I
brand.
mean,
This is
because
it.
think about it. Let's think about the fact that here he was in this royal family. He was born and bred to support his brother, who was going to be the future king of this country. Meghan, in her ego, stepped in and married this man who already had a big ego because of his position in the world within the royal family, his entitlement, his thinking that he can do whatever it is that he wants, essentially. And so you have this woman from Hollywood who has always been the spoiled, rotten brat, comes and marries this egotistical prince. And now they both think they're bigger than the royal family, and they're convinced that they can go to another country and be just as big as they were in the United Kingdom. Well, clearly that is not the case. But they
Yeah.
don't seem to understand that this is the position that they are in right now, because they're going to keep trying. I know Meghan will keep trying and trying
Mhm.
and trying. I don't understand it.
Well, let me put it this way, guys. I'm going to show you a picture and I'm going to tell you how protected they are. And you guys,
Okay.
this is something that this is not made up. This
Okay.
is I don't know. I'm not a photo expert, but people who are photo experts have examined this and they have talked about it, okay?
Okay.
I just want to point that out, right? I did study 1 year of what you call it hmm, of photography at the London Photography School, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an expert in metadata or anything like that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. I'm going to show you this picture. Let's not forget that they said that Archie was born on May 6th, right? And that the baptism was July 6th.
July 6th.
Okay. So here we go. I'm going to show you this picture. This is the christening picture of baby Archie.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank Bookworm for sending it to me because I lost mine when I came from Norway and I changed phones. What we're watching here is the picture that they sent to the press. But you know how people ousted Justin Baldoni's thing because they went to the metadata of the pictures?
Mm-hmm.
And the origin, this is what's called the origin. It's basically when you take the picture. When the picture is originally taken, then you can do whatever with it. You can change the date. But if you change, for example, if you change the date, then another line would appear here underneath that says time to the date you changed it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's
Right.
very difficult, almost impossible to delete the origin date. The
Mm-hmm.
origin date of this picture is May 8th, 2019 at 10:56 p.m. 06. 2 days after the child was born.
Okay. 2 days after the child was born.
That's when this picture was taken. And I remember when Bookworm and I did our videos, people were saying, "Oh, well, maybe it's when they turned on the camera." No, and
Mm,
I was like, "No, you can. I turn on my phone, but when I take a picture, that's something completely different." Because I
mhm,
remember a lot of sugars came. Well, then when they turn on the camera and something like that, no. This is how they find out stuff, like again, I repeat myself. The latest case is Justin Baldoni's when one sleuth on the internet, I can't remember who she was, found
mhm,
out that the metadata was from a different date, earlier date.
mhm. Right.
So that's how this thing started to unravel.
And
So we
mhm,
have this data. I'm sorry, I had this here so you guys can see it. So according to the original date, this picture was taken 2 days after Archie was born.
yet,
Now,
yeah.
yeah. And then I'm going to show you something because let me see. This is Archie arrives. I'm going to show you these pictures too because it's important that we see this, guys. This I'm going to show you two articles. Okay, I'm
Mhm,
going to show you two articles. Now you've seen that.
mhm, mhm.
These pictures were not tampered with. This is the original metadata of everything, right?
Okay.
The Queen refused to attend. Now, this is William and Catherine arriving supposedly at the private christening, right?
Mm-hmm.
of Archie. There's
Yep.
William, and there's Catherine wearing a blue dress.
Hold on, we don't see it.
What do you mean you don't see it?
I see
See?
William in a car.
There she is.
Oh, but
Do you
there's
see?
another picture of her
No,
with
it's
the.
right here.
I
Aren't you
know.
seeing it?
Yeah, you can see William, but you can hardly see Catherine. Can
But
you
you see
scroll?
that blue thing is right there.
Yeah, I see that, but I'm saying there's another picture of her. If you
Let me
keep
see if I can
going,
make it larger because that's the largest one
but there's a
view.
full frontal picture of her with that dress on. Is what I'm saying.
No, not in this article. Not in this article. Let me see. There's no. There's no
And
picture of her with
well,
a full.
maybe not in, but there are pictures. I think that would be a better picture. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Let me see here. Edit view. Zoom out. Let me see. Because
Let me
maybe
see.
here at the entrance. Maybe here at the entrance. I don't know. Because they're seen coming in. I'm sorry about this stupid thing. Because they're seen coming in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me see if I
And when
can find it.
Yeah, because they're coming in, and you can see William coming in, and then no, this is just arrive ahead of the christening, and you can see Catherine clearly coming in with what you might call it, with the full blue dress. But you can see here,
I have the blue dress.
you haven't. Can you share it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Isn't this a blue dress? Isn't this what she was wearing?
That's the blue dress. Yes.
And look at what she's here,
Yeah, but
and then
there
here.
she, yeah, but there she, no, that blue dress she wore also at Ascot. There, Ascot there.
Right, but okay, hold on.
That's the same blue dress that she wore at the
But
christening.
but this article was showing me them at the christening. Hold on. I remember seeing her in that dress in one of the articles, though.
Yeah, but she wore it because she rewore it to that. But what is interesting
Okay.
here, guys, is the following. You know that it was made public. The court the the royals made this public on, I believe, on June. Everybody knew the end of June. They knew that the baptism was going to be held on July 6th, right? And then on July 1st, it was officially notified, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was
Mm-hmm.
official and public that it was. Archbishop of Canterbury had to leave the most important meeting in the Church of England calendar because Harry and Meghan chose to baptize Archie during General Synod. I think it's called, or Synod. This is very important. They're not supposed to leave, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, though, that it says that the Archbishop here, senior clerics were mystified when, without explanation, Justin Welby pulled out of the Saturday session of a 4-day meeting in York in July 2019. Such was the secrecy surrounding the christening of Harry and Meghan's son Archie, the senior bishops only learned when the Archbishop was absent after palace officials released 2 photographs of the service, which is BS. It is absolute BS because, as I just showed you, it was made public. It had been made public. The palace released a public statement that Archie was to be baptized on July 1st. The palace released a public statement saying that Archie was supposed to be baptized on July 6th at the chapel, at the Windsor Chapel.
Mm-hmm.
So how would the senior clerics of the church not know about it?
Yeah. So
Why would
what did
that
you
be a mystery? Because and Bookworm did an excellent video, and she showed that it was impossible for the Archbishop. We're saying that the baptism never happened on July 6th. First of all, Catherine shows up in a blue getup, and then she's wearing pink, right?
and then she's
And then
shown
we
wearing
have
pink.
this humongous, and I'm going to show you. Look at how humongous these pictures are, and these don't make sense. Why is Camilla sitting down and not Charles?
And
Why
why,
is he
yes.
sitting down?
And the other question I had, why is Doria standing behind Harry when she should be sitting next to Meghan as Meghan's mother?
But it's not even that. I'm going to show you because usually they don't sit like that. And if you look, if Catherine were to stand up, she'd be twice as tall as William. The same thing for Camilla. Doria is not
But
that tall, even with high heels, because we saw them outside the church when Meghan got married.
okay, wait a minute. Hold on. I said Meghan's mother, Doria, should be sitting next to Meghan.
No, not necessarily. I'm
Why
going to show you
not?
because that's not. It's just usually the parents. I'm going to show you what the tradition is. Okay.
It's
I'm
just
going to
the
show you
parents.
the.
Okay, I don't
Okay. I'm
understand
going to
what
show
you're
you the
saying.
tradition. I'm going to show you the traditions. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Okay. Okay.
Let me see. Prince George christening. Only the queen, the parents, and then everybody else.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you Princess Charlotte's uh, christening. Princess Charlotte christening. Let me see where's Princess Charlotte christening. I know that is fictional. Prince George. Mm, I'm just looking at that here. No, that's Prince Louis. That's Prince George. Where the hell is the? Sorry, guys, about that. I'm looking for Princess Charlotte. Princess Charlotte. You also have the Queen sitting there, but only
Okay.
her and Louis. Right,
So
Princess
what? So what's
Louis.
the
And
traditional
royal
way of
christening.
doing it?
It's just the
So.
Queen. It's just the Queen, and
Mhm.
it's just the Queen, and that's it. I'm going to show you. Um, um, I have it here. Well, I'm going to show you Louis. I'm going to show Prince Louis christening because the Queen wasn't there, right?
Okay.
So because the Queen wasn't there, there. You see, this is Prince Louis. You see, christening.
Yes. Okay.
It's only the parents. It's only the Queen that gets to sit down with them. So why would Harry have? And if you look, everybody looks proportionate in size. It looks great, the size, because they go from the tallest to the smallest.
Well, okay. So you're saying maybe Catherine was sitting because she's going to be the future queen?
No, because she wasn't there. The whole thing was photoshopped.
Okay. So the point is that's not really Catherine in that video, in that photo.
That it was Photoshop, Pat, because
Right.
Catherine goes in wearing a blue dress.
Hey,
Camilla is Charles is standing up. He's gonna, if
so
anything, Charles should have
yes.
been sitting down right next to Meghan because he was
Okay.
the most senior royal because the Queen
Okay.
didn't go.
So we're saying that Catherine wasn't there and neither was William.
Yeah, and I think that this flag, this picture, correct me if I'm wrong, has been flagged as being edited.
Okay. I think
And
it's
it doesn't make sense that Doria and what's her name and Catherine, who follows protocol, would be wearing a pink dress to a little boy's baptism when
well,
she's seen arriving wearing a blue dress.
Catherine I can understand. So she was arriving there at this
Right, in a
christening.
blue dress with a hat and everything.
So why are we saying she wasn't there?
We're not saying she wasn't there, Pat. I'm just saying that this picture is not the picture of
That's what
the
well,
baptism.
that's what I'm saying. Why wasn't Catherine in the photo? Why was her photo photoshopped into this photo?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Maybe because I don't know, they the montage the way they needed to do it, it is just so weird. Because for example, Catherine should have been next to William, and then Camilla, and then at the end should have been William. William should have been at the end, then Catherine, then the sisters, and then you should have had Prince Charles, Camilla, and Doria, and then Meghan and Harry sitting there together with the baby. That's how it should have been done. Why would Meghan want to have, at the time, we knew that they hated each other. Why would she have? You know what I mean?
Right. That doesn't
And
make
look,
sense.
it doesn't make sense. And why do they need chairs? It's not like they're not able to stand.
Yeah, something just does not seem right about that photo
Well,
at
to
all.
us, is the metadata, Pat.
Yeah, we see the metadata. I'm just saying, I don't understand. See, this is the part that I have a problem with because Meghan has pulled the royals into, I think, a lot of that deception. And this is, I think, why she feels like she might be protected because they were going along with a lot of the things that she was doing. They were part of it.
There we go. These are the official pictures of Charlotte, the
Yeah.
baptism.
Hmm.
Camilla, she was asked to wear beige or pink. Camila wore blue.
And is that Catherine's mother behind her in the gray?
Yeah, that's
Or in the
Catherine's
light
mother.
beige?
The only one
Okay.
sitting with him is the queen.
Okay, I see. Okay.
With Prince Louis, nobody was sitting with him because the queen was not there. So it was only the parents and the kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's something very off about that photo. And
This one?
no, the other one. The other one with the Archie.
Yeah. You see the difference? So there
Yeah.
it doesn't, why would Harry want to have Camilla sitting right next to him in an official portrait when we know how he feels about her?
Right. I don't know. Something is, and I
Well,
think,
that's the metadata. And guys, this was found and this was the metadata. This is the metadata. And people, I remember the Sussex squad were saying, well, they admitted that that was the real origin metadata. But then they were saying it's because when you turn the camera on, that's when, and no, it's when you take a picture.
man, that when you take the picture, right, immediately
When
is
we
when
take
you
a
get
picture,
that.
when we take a picture here, I can change the date, but then if you go to the metadata, then it says the origin
Mm-hmm.
date, and then you have changed date, and you get like a sub something, there's always something there. So
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that, yeah, this is all BS, and this was given out there. I want to thank Bookworm because I lost mine because now they've changed them. And I believe that this picture was flagged as edited after the Catherine picture was flagged too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate that the Royals are part of something that is, I think, not legit because it stains their reputation around the things that Meghan has been doing or around the things that Meghan is a part of. I think she's caused this. You don't have this kind of secrecy and questionable behavior around any other woman married into the royal family. And it's because they've allowed her to, and even bending the rules for her before she was even married into the royal family, to have a special treatment. And she clearly took advantage of it. She took advantage of not having to follow the rules. She took advantage of being special. And so they accommodated her and they allowed her to do things that are not on the up and up. There should not be a question about a photo at a christening, at a child christening. There should be no suspicious behavior around that. There shouldn't Catherine should not look like a giant sitting down compared to, her husband. Like, really, it just doesn't make sense, and it's very upsetting because Meghan is part of the problem here, and most people that won't see it, but we see it clearly. I just wanted to say that.
What do you make of the 100 times 100 Pat?
100 times all the times. Well, I think it's a good thing that she's not on there, but I hate that she's going to be speaking. Like, really, that just ruined the credibility of this. Because Meghan has nothing to say. If anybody has anything to say, it should be the royal person speaking. She's only there because she married a royal. She hasn't done anything extraordinary prior to her marriage to Harry. There is no reason why she should be up there and not Harry. Harry should be the one that is, being doing the speech. But yet Meghan, she inserts herself via her husband's position in royalty. And everyone should be able to see that clearly as a fraud and a perpetration. Okay? Making you a fraud and a perpetration. You need to go sit your butt down. Because you have no reason. Seriously. What has she done but being on a soap opera? She hasn't done anything that warrants people should be listening to you. You may tell me that because you married a man that you suddenly have all these rights to be in the public eye on a global stage where people have to listen to what you have to say? You are not that person, Meghan, in your head. You are not that person. You have not done the work to warrant people listening to you at this type of an event. These people that are on the cover that have done this work have done extraordinary things. You have done nothing but marry a man, which people do every day. There is
Well,
nothing special about you.
well, Blake Lively's there as a Titan Pat.
Well, let me tell you something.
Did you
I
see
heard
that?
the lady that the NAACP lady, the reason why she was speaking on behalf of Blake Lively is because to the credit, I know we don't like her, but she did, along with her husband back in 2019, they donated a lot of money to the NAACP, and I believe it has something to do with their philanthropic work, not the fact that she's an actress. Well,
No, that's
let
not
me
true.
well, this is what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I heard. It was for other reasons. Okay. And when you are someone that is like that globally recognized for your work, I mean, as a philanthropic person, that's different. I think that could be the reason why. But you tell me what you heard, but that's what I heard.
Okay, if they made that donation in 2019, why is she being
Well,
nominated now?
I think it has something to do with that being the beginning of their relationship for the philanthropic work. That's what yeah.
Okay, well, the problem that they have is that they got married in a plantation. One of the used to have brutal slaves in 2012. People didn't know about it, and they found out about it in 2018, and it became a huge scandal
Okay.
where Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively apologized deeply.
They got married on a plantation.
Yeah, and the plantation is very open about it, and it says that it was where one of the worst the slaves. Actually, the plantation on their website, it tells you the story, the history of the slavery, how brutally the slaves were treated there. So,
oh my
the
gosh.
people didn't know about it. They found out about it in 2018. So they made a donation to the NAACP and made a public apology saying that they didn't know the history. But it's hard. This is why people have made videos about it. How can you not know? Because when you go to the plantation's website, because they host events, it's the
Right.
first thing that comes in.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay.
You didn't know they got married in a plantation?
I did not know that.
Okay,
No.
let me educate you, Pat. You didn't. How can you not know that?
Girl,
Pat,
I'm not following. You know how many stories I'm doing on the Royals and Meghan Markle? You think I'm running a charity at the same time?
I
It's
do.
very easy
Of
not
course.
for me to know that, okay? Let me just check you, honey girl.
Okay.
Because I'm doing a lot. Did you see how it was late today, right? I've been
Yeah,
going and
I'll
going
show
since
you this. I'll show you
I
this.
tell you guys don't even understand how crazy my
This is
life
why.
is. It's just
Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively apologized for plantation wedding.
mm,
What we
okay.
saw at the time was a wedding venue on Pinterest. Reynolds said, what we saw after was a place built up on devastating tragedy. Yeah, this is what after they were called out in 2018. Let's not
Yeah.
forget. Yeah, yeah. It's called the Boone Hall Plantation in Mount Pleasant.
Wait
Okay,
a minute.
which features 9 slave cabins referred to as Slave Street. The move was criticized at the time, but came under renewed scrutiny in 2018, which is why they made the donation in 2000.
Okay, see, people, guys, that's the reason why they did it. It's so bad.
I mean, in the plantation, in the Boone Home Plantation, they said, they are very open about it in their website. They said this is what happened, right? So this is, we've talked about how the first black stunt woman died in a set of Deadpool because they didn't want her. Well, I don't think she would have survived because she was going at a very high speed. She was the first black stunt woman, but she wasn't. She had never done stunts in that type of motorcycle, which was a much bigger motorcycle to begin with. And then Ryan requested she didn't wear a helmet, and
He did. He requested that she not
yeah,
wear a
because he
helmet.
wanted the hair to look like, like it would take away the. And she died. Guess how much? You never heard of this, guys, right?
Yeah.
And then she only got $300,000. The family. That's what they got in compensation.
Wow. Wow. Shady.
On the second set of Deadpool. Yep.
Wow.
Because he had that black character that she was black, that beautiful girl that's black that was Good Luck Barley. You don't know, you don't watch
So,
Deadpool.
okay, I'm gonna tell you something that you probably don't know, Miss Paula M. Did you know a black woman wrote Terminator and The Matrix?
No.
Yes,
Really? What's her name?
yes. Let me pull
The
it
first
up.
Terminator or which one?
The first, of course,
Okay,
the first one.
I like the first Terminator and the first Matrix. Yes.
Who wrote The Matrix and Terminator? Sophia Stewart is the lady that wrote Terminator and The Matrix. And they stole her work basically.
That sucks. That fucking sucks.
Mhm.
Yeah, rubbing white nose.
She
Sophia
talked
Stewart.
about it. I remember watching her in an interview. This woman talked about the Terminator and the movie and her. I mean, it's just so bad how she was treated. I mean, you really look at her story to understand what she discovered, what she did. It's really it's so wrong. It's so wrong.
Like there's this for example, talking about stolen work, and this is something that has been really really bothering me. Is like, for example, guys, this lady here without a crystal ball, let me show you. This is why we say we YouTubers are doing the work, and then the press, the mainstream media, because they're a huge monster, they grab it and they pretend that they're the ones who came up with it. You know
Mhm.
who was the person who found out about the Van Sam fake thing that what's her name had on? Uh Blake Lively?
Who?
It was this lady without a crystal ball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then she was the one who did a video and she exposed it. And then what's his name of that? The Daily Mail robbed it. Didn't credit her.
That's messed up.
Yep.
That is so messed up.
Here, this is the video, guys. This is the
I
video.
think that, for the women by Stephanie Jones,
She's the one who found this.
Inc. against Doe's 1 through
Mute, Paula. Mm-hmm.
She's the one who found it. And then she did a whole video about it, and the Daily Mail stole it. So I believe, because people say, oh, they're just YouTubers, you're not a journalist. And
Well,
I
they're
say,
very good at research. I know that much.
we do our research, but how many times have
Yeah,
we
I mean,
said
I
this
know
about
I'm doing a lot of research just
Yeah.
because you want to be able to gather the information around what you're talking about. And these journalists, I think, are doing so many different things that they just want to steal from people who are doing all the work, because they just are talking and writing about so many things. We are specialists in this. We are seriously like, how do you call it? You know how there are filmographies, or people that study film, and like
Yeah.
we know Meghan and everything about this woman inside and out. It's our work. And this lady must have been talking and doing a lot around Blake Lively and found this information, and yeah, they stole it from her.
But the thing is that this is what bothers me, because I've seen TikTokers and YouTubers who started like YouTubers like us. And now that they're in more mainstream media, they go, oh, you're not journalists. And I'm like, neither are you. You just
Right.
get a bigger break than we did, but we do a lot of work, But this
Mhm.
lady, I found it so deeply unfair that Daily Mail literally accredited themselves to finding this and not even credited. I've seen my work used by
Mhm.
big YouTubers, and they never said this comes from Paula M, or they never thanked me or anything. And they're literally stealing it. But it would be nice because we work really hard, and I find that YouTubers are the new era of. Look at Brian Friedman and
Mhm.
Candace Owens. Candace Owens, a lot of her research, she thanks her
Oh,
sleuths on
she
the internet,
always just thanks them. Yeah.
because it's people like us who really work, and we get the info. And this is why, guys, a lot of people, how people say, oh, why would this person reach out to you, Paula? Because they know that if they reach out to a journalist, and if this journalist doesn't publish the stories because maybe they have a deal with Meghan, or they have a deal with the palace, and they want to get future stories, they won't publish it. So they reach out to us YouTubers because we don't care and we publish it.
Mhm. Mhm.
you know and what do you make of Harry and that thing that William I've seen the narrative, Pat, that William is going to be vindictive if he does that too. That Harry wants to come, that he misses his family, that blah blah blah.
Mm.
Yes,
First of all, here William is not going to be vindictive if he does take away those titles. He's going to be doing his job. Okay.
I'm gonna put you on main screen there. Yeah, say
He's
that again.
going to William is not going to be looking like he's being vindictive if he takes the titles away from Meghan and Harry. He's going to be doing his job. He's going to be doing what is expected of him, what the people expect him to do. It's not going to be vindictive because he's doing it for a reason. He's doing it because there is cause to take that action. Okay. Being vindictive is if you just do something because for no reason. You're doing it to be vindictive. But he has every reason to remove the titles because of all the things that have been happening around the merging of these titles and the lies and the manipulation and the just doing things that are unroyal like to the royal family. Yes, take away the titles and clap and cheer and yes, let's take them away. It's not vindictive. I'm sorry. That's not how you look at something like that. It'd be very well warranted for them titles to be taken away.
I think it's time to have some rules too, Pat.
Yeah.
Because you see, just like they have amended the Succession Act, they can amend rules because there should be, you know what? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So
Mm-hmm.
the job of Parliament, which unfortunately is corrupt in the UK, is to keep the monarchy in check.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People, so if there are rules, the problem is that they're not enforcing them.
Right. They're not enforcing them. I mean, just look at the fact that this woman has yet to show a signed birth certificate of who delivered the child. There have been rules around the birthing of royals. Why has Meghan not had to follow these rules?
No, because they haven't made her.
Yeah, exactly. So
You
William is
see,
going to
this is
make.
the
He
thing,
needs
but
to
this
not
is
only
what
take away the titles. He needs to show that birth. He needs to talk about the birth of that baby, that child, Archie. Also,
But you saw the response that UK Parliament when I applied for the Freedom of Information Act just to confirm whether Archie was born at the hospital. And they said that they don't deliver children. I said, yeah, but you are the Parliament, and Parliament is in charge of ensuring that every child that goes into the line of succession meets all the legal requirements. And papers have to be presented to you. I'm not asking you to you remember when I
hmm
showed that because
oh
the
yeah,
hearing was really snarky. Oh, we're not in the business of delivering children. And besides, he says, well, you write to the palace and ask him. I said, no, because the line of succession is actually that is something that Parliament has to regulate, and there is a Succession Act for it. And the
hmm
Succession Act says four things to include those child in the a child goes in the line of succession if it meets four legal requirements: that the parents are married in the Church of England, a man and a
hmm
woman. Number
hmm
two, that it's a marriage between a man and a woman married in
hmm
the Church of England, that is
hmm
born that is conceived naturally and is born of the body of the woman.
hmm
So
hmm
we don't know if the child how will you prove that the child is born out of the body of the woman? With the doctor's signature made public, which is what is always done.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah,
And we don't have that answer yet. So why are people and they're just letting it slide?
they're
So
letting it
they left.
slide.
And Harry's
Mm.
now angry because he went on People magazine. What do you make of that? Do you think it was Harry who actually said that I love and support my wife? Didn't he say he didn't want his children to go in
Well,
the?
here's the thing. Here's the thing. So, okay, so that article, and I know I did a video on it. I think Meghan, she may do things that Harry doesn't know about. I do think that Harry's trying to save face. I really do.
Oh, I know what I wanted to talk to you about that. I wanted to talk to you about that.
Yeah,
Yes. Thank you for
because
reminding
we have to remember what Harry said at the book deal summit. Remember at the book deal summit where he talked about when the guy asked about his marriage to Meghan and how he answered and responded was very suspect. He talked about how the trolls are always waiting for us to divorce or always waiting, and then they get all built up and then then they get disappointed. That should not have, first of all, have been his response to the question about his relationship with his wife. And second, he is trying to not have to prove the haters right. He really does not want them to be right. But Harry knows deep down he is losing. And he is not going to just let the haters win, even though he's losing. But I do think Meghan had a part in that, because she wants the narrative to be that he supports her unconditionally, whatever. Just look at the man's life and how she's wrecked it. You think that man is completely all Meghan, considering what she's done to him? I think it's a little bit of both. I think for sure Harry is trying to save face, but at the same time as Meghan is also trying to, say Harry has to be the one saying that he supports me, because that's what she needs right now, for people to support her. She needs Harry's a validation right now, because she still can't stand on her own.
Well,
But
they
she's
didn't really
trying.
spoke, they didn't really speak to Harry. They received a statement
Oh,
saying
it was
that it was,
from his friend, right? Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, but no,
But she never.
the latest one where he says that he loves Meghan and that he supports everything. It was a statement from the office of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex that supposedly came from Harry, but it's
Well,
not like they spoke to Harry in person.
right, yeah, but yeah, we know they have a relationship though with people,
Yeah,
right? So,
my take on it, Pat, is that it's not about saving face. That could be a part of it, but to me, is that he's angry that he was wrong. It's about ego.
well,
Is
yeah, it's the
angry.
same
Yes.
thing. That's the same
Yeah,
thing.
but
He's saving
to me, it's
face.
not anger. But to me, saving face, you would feel shame. But I can see the anger. He's angry. This man is angry and is suing everybody. And this is just my take. I may be wrong.
Yeah, he's angry because the people, the haters are winning. The haters, the people that he despises, the ones that he really hates,
His
they
family, you
are.
mean?
Yeah. And the people that are talking about him being divorcing and not being in love or whatever, they're winning and he hates it.
Yeah.
Harry is feeling really like slighted right now, and he doesn't want people to know that. He doesn't want people to win.
Yeah. But to me, is
Yeah.
that because, I see people who, when you want to save face, you're embarrassed a little. You're always, that when you make a mistake and you're
Mhm.
embarrassed and you're quiet.
Well, this is what Harry's saying. Harry's saying, "Oh man, I hate this woman. I
He's
want to
angry.
divorce
He's
her.
angry.
I don't like her, but I can't show them that I don't want to be with her. I love my wife. Yeah, I love her. Ugh, I
No.
love her." He's
Yeah.
really trying to make it's all good. It's okay. But deep down in his heart, in his gut, it's not good.
No, this man, no. And another thing that maybe I'm reading too much, but and I'd like to hear your input.
Mm,
He is angry that not that his family was right, that maybe they didn't do more to stop him. And he's angry. uh, You see the anger in this man, and the anger has nothing to do with love for Meghan or his children because he's never with them. But
mm,
to me, is that he's angry because the palace always stopped him, always protected him, always did something to prevent him
mm.
from doing stupid stuff. And maybe now it's like lashing out. Why didn't you do something more to prevent me from being
Right,
so
because he
stupid?
said it about the wearing the Nazi thing, didn't he? He's like, "Well, why didn't William and Catherine tell me not to wear the Nazi
Why
uniform?"
didn't the queen say no? Because
Right.
she had to. I think it's what we're seeing, because it's not normal. There's this anger, and what he's fighting for is not the security. And it's very telling to me, guys, I don't know about you, that he says that they treated him inferior because he doesn't like to be treated like everybody else right now. He's used to
Mm,
the treatment of deference and the
mm,
treatment that he had direct access to the queen. He had direct access to the king, and now he has to deal with Princess Anne, who basically tells him to fuck off in a very, very polite or very direct manner without using the words.
mhm,
It's
hmm,
like no. It's like no means no. It's like we're watching a man throw a worldwide tantrum like a
mhm.
2-year-old, but in a worldwide platform that he has access to. And he's angry. All I see in him is anger. I mean, what?
Anger. He's like, "Man, I messed up my life. I was a prince." Now, did you see we got a couple more chats?
Which ones? Oh, here we are.
Uh,
And then we have that one.
Chris, how do you say Chrysler Hastings?
I don't see the super chats. I
You
see
don't see
that.
it?
I see the ones that we had. I
You
only see
said
10 here. I see Ziggy Lee is a chick without a crown, and then Chrysler Hastings.
Yeah,
Then,
right. Yeah,
yeah,
she's
that
saying
one
LOL
you
information.
showed
Okay.
it a while ago. Yeah.
Okay. Paula's giving the LOL the information Paula's giving us. That Paula knows her stuff, man. Telling you, she knows. She
Well,
knows.
what I don't know, I ask, and you know that, Pat,
That
and
is
Pat
true.
too. Pat, you know that Pat and I we call experts, we accountants, we call whoever we have to call
Hmm.
before we give the information out because I am not an expert, and I've always said that. I have never
Hmm.
claimed to be an expert. I've always said I have questions. I need answers.
And you will get the answers, which is really good. And we are
And
all
sometimes
enjoying
we
it.
try, but we don't
Mhm.
always get them. I mean, when I try to get the FOIA, they told me that ask the palace, but then
Yeah.
the palace is not obligated under law to give you anything because they're not really a branch of the government, so they're not subject to the FOIA. And I'm like, what do you mean they're not a branch of the government? The king is the head of state. But what do you make
Right.
of William then? So you agree with William
About taking the titles.
about regulating? I don't want to call it taking the titles,
Okay,
about
well, regulating the laws around the
regulations.
titles.
Yeah, how to be used to keep them prestigious.
Yes,
Because right now the titles have no prestige.
Meghan has cheapened the titles. But just to finish Hastings' thing, she says it's very interestingly spun in her head and very good, and she's enjoying this life. So thank you for that. And I just want to say, absolutely, you are preserving the institution because Meghan is ghettoifying, Meghan is cheapening the royal titles. Okay. You don't allow an American woman to come over to your country and run roughshod on what is specially yours as a country. We don't know a
Culture, your
title if
identity.
it slapped us in the face here in America. We don't know nothing about titles. Okay? But this is your country, your laws, your everything. You have this has been in the royal family from over 1,000 years.
Met the Queen.
I bestow upon you these titles, these things. Like, yes. So take it away. Just make it so that you keep the dignity in this title and don't let Meghan cheapen it because that's what she's doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I watched your video and you were talking, I think, or you in the live, you did that live on Thursday. By the way, PDina is going to be doing a live on Thursday, guys, and you have to watch her.
Yes, on Thursdays.
And
Mhm.
then, and it's at the end of the day, it is the United Kingdom's identity,
Right.
culture.
That they're
It
protecting.
would be like making fun of, the indigenous people in the States, of their culture, of their rituals.
Mhm.
You know, that's not done. That's not done. Like when I remember when I was taking my master's and MBA, it was like we had to study this thing which was culture. Like what you do or you don't do on these things. For example, I remember that you when you go to India, you have to wait like 3 times when they offer you food, and you don't say yes at the first time because otherwise you sound like you're starving or something.
Mhm.
How in the Middle East you don't show the sole of your feet or your shoes because it's incredibly
Yeah.
disrespectful. I mean,
Mhm.
all these things they teach you, and the royal family would have taught her that too.
Yeah.
So for her to say that, what it makes me mad at, I don't know about the people here in the United States, because for her to say that in the Netflix thing, oh, it's like, everybody in the United States, nobody in the United States knows much about the royal family. Girl, I mean,
Mm.
are
Mm.
we serious, Pat?
Right. Well, no, there are a lot of people that do.
But she made it sound like, oh, medieval times,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. How
She
she
made,
mocked it. She
yeah, but
mocked
she
it.
makes it sound like Americans are ignorant.
Yeah, she made it sound very like she dumbed it down like medieval time. Like what's so surprising though, we do have something like that.
No, no,
Where
I in Canada too. In Canada
yeah,
too, I worked as a
no.
waitress once, and
Oh,
they
did
had,
you? Where
yes,
they
yes,
do
I
that.
did. And
Yeah.
it's all you could eat, guys, and they
Yeah,
had this
because we love
catering.
to eat in America.
No,
Yeah.
but this was in
Mhm.
Canada. It was in
Well, we
Canada.
have it here all you can eat. Yeah.
Yeah, and there were these
Yeah.
guys wearing these things, and I remember it was a lot of fun. It didn't make much money because people didn't tip very well because
Yeah,
but
so they had those in Canada too. That's interesting. Yeah, I know that we have those here, and it's kind of Americanified. It's kind of like an American type way of the history of that.
But she made it sound like the American people were stupid, and the reason why
Yeah.
I think that she did that is because she wanted to convince the public or Harry, "Oh, I didn't know very much about you."
Yeah.
BS.
Yeah, that's just such a lie. That's just
Americans love the royal family. Most of them do.
yeah.
Everybody in the United States knew who the Queen of England was. Nobody knows who
Yeah.
the hell Rachel Meghan Skank Markle, a D-list, talented, unemployed mattress actress is.
Right. They don't know much about her, but they always have been very popular here in the States. Now, I think the one thing that we don't know much about, like, 'cause I didn't know much about Prince Philip and the work that he did, but the
Amazing.
work behind their work, we don't know much about like all the traditions and a lot of the work, but we have this image of the royal family. I mean, think about it, Disney. That's where Disney was modeled after. Actually, it was a castle in Germany. So
Yeah.
it is part of our history in a commercialized way and on a very superficial way. It's not a part of our government. It's not a part like when you go to England, it's like the royal everything, the royal mail, the royal this, the royal that. And that's when it really hit me as being very seriously, oh, this royal thing is very like a part of the country and the people, and it's instilled in a lot of the institutions, and it just really defined for me a lot better how I saw royalty having lived there. But I think for Americans it's definitely a known thing, in a way that's not as cultured as it is over in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, but people know in the United States, I can guarantee you that 90% of the United States know who Princess Diana is.
Well, absolutely, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly
Guys,
what I'm saying. We know
guys,
it. We know the royal family. It's
Loida,
not.
I
Yeah.
kid you not, guys, Loida, who these girls at the farm who are like 16, 17 years of age. Thank you for the super chat, Crystal Hastings.
Mhm.
Like, they know who Princess Diana is. And they're
Yeah.
16, 17 in the woods, guys, in the woods.
Well, yeah, because Diana was she was a global phenomenon. Like people loved her so much. She brought the royal family into on the. I don't want to be disrespectful, but she was the reason why a lot of people were drawn to the royal family
Well,
because
that
of
is true.
Diana. So
It is true. I just
that's
want to say something, and this is something I learned. If you have problems, with our age, guys, we lose something called the synovial fluid in our body. Start drinking bone broth every morning before you eat anything else. Just buy some bones at the meat or whatever and boil them. And if you
Mhm.
want to add some veggies, okay. But if the purest bone broth you do, you just need a cup. You can do a whole pot and then just drink it in the morning and do it for a month, and we'll come back in a month and talk to me about it. Just bone broth. That's it. Bone
Interesting.
broth is not, you'll see your collagen, but your fluid, because what happens is we lose the fluid, the synovial fluid. Your knees? You have
Mhm.
how when you're young, you have a lot of synovial fluid and you can jump from higher things, but when you get older, you can't because you're losing the synovial fluid, so the bones hit.
Ah,
So when you drink bone broth, pure bone broth,
is that why
come
my
back.
knees crack when I try to stand up?
Everything, Pat. Everything. It's your joints. We lose synovial fluid. So just do a whole pot of synovial of bone broth. Bone broth. Some people do it like a soup, But
Mm.
I don't. I try to do it as pure. I have to drink it like this, but I drink it in the morning.
Oh,
And
okay.
and my knees, I can get on the horse, no problem whatsoever. Been drinking it for a month. My face, everything has looked better, and of course, So,
Mhm.
but I was just watching some people talking about that. It is incredible, guys. It
And
is incredible.
I got the makeup. I mean, I got the
Have you tried it?
products, and I'm gonna start trying them. I just
You should
got
try
them. Yeah, I can't wait to
it.
start trying them
Yeah,
and
me
give
too.
everyone a
It's
review.
isomers, guys. This is isomers, guys, because it's amazing. I am so in love with it. I am so in love with it. I can't believe I live without the Botox around my eyes. I hope you got that same one too.
Yeah, I
But I
did.
don't think. Oh, you
Mhm.
did? But how come you're not wrinkled like I am?
I haven't started using it yet, dear. Or
Yeah,
how
but
come
you're
I'm
not
what?
wrinkled. How come you got the Botox around the eyes? You're not wrinkled like I am.
Well, you know what they say about black don't crack.
Ahua. But okay, let's finish this. Do you agree with the royalists that are, or the royal experts that are saying that it will be very petty of William to take? I mean, they left.
No, no, no. and he has to do it. I don't care about what those royal who said this.
There are all these experts that are going on.
Well,
Oh,
you
that'll be
ain't the expert in
petty.
nothing. You ain't the
Oh,
expert
no,
in
you have
nothing.
the likes of Angela Levin and some other people saying that
I'm sorry, no.
and
William
everything.
has to do it. William has to do it, and you should be supporting that. Come on now. I mean, really, I don't think William has to back down to this woman and what she's done to the royal family, to the institution. I mean, come on now. They
Didn't he
know
say that with the
better.
freedom flight? Remember when he did that video with the freedom flight? They
Yeah,
were on
yeah,
the freedom flight. Didn't he say that William and Charles were trapped? That he felt sorry for them and
yeah,
that Oprah
yeah. Well,
interview.
he's the one trapped now. How's it feel, Harry? You the
He
one
does look
trapped.
trapped, doesn't he, Pat? He doesn't look like a happy
Hmm.
camp, does he?
He's not happy at all.
Does he look
Hmm.
like a man who's happily married to you?
Not at all. Not at all. Harry looks extremely miserable because he is
You think?
miserable. Abso-freaking-lutely.
I don't know, but he says he's never been more in love. I just want to play this because quickly before we go, and just so you know, apparently all the high fashion house Carolina Herrera, Dior have asked Meghan not to wear because
They're
she
close.
wants to wear at the gala, right? The Times 100. And somebody told me that the reason that Harry was supposed to be there, but she threatened and she did all these tantrums because, how could they? Because they wanted the blood royal. Because that Times Magazine and Procter and Gamble are the ones organizing it. The
Yeah.
owner of Times Magazine is the owner of Salesforce. Salesforce is partner with Better Up,
So it's
and
all a connection.
Procter and Gamble is partner with Archwell. But at the same time, both of them too are partnered with the Royal Foundation.
Yeah. So it's all a connection.
I think they want to keep their hands in both their pies because this is the thing with ambivalence, Pat. If
Hmm.
the royal family made a clean break and said, you know what, Harry, we're going to grant you a wish. We're the Wish Foundation. You say you wanted to be Henry, Charles, Albert, David, Mountbatten, Windsor, or Markle, or whatever last name you want to choose. We
Hmm.
grant you your wish. Remember how many times he said he didn't want to be a prince? He didn't like
Hmm.
England.
Right, right.
Well, grant him his wish. That's
Yeah,
what he's wanted all his life. Granted, damn it. You know,
yeah,
and then let him be that. But because there is ambivalence, all these companies don't want to really go hard against Harry because what if he comes back?
yeah.
Then they don't want the royal family angry with him because they want to be in with the royal family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You
It's a tough
know,
situation. So for them, I mean, I don't know. I just think they have to have a clear defining line about I just think ignoring and not supporting Harry and Meghan.
I want you to
Title of
hear this,
mom.
and we're gonna leave with this, and I just want you to tell me this, Pat, because something is not right here.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna mute myself.
Title of mom. Just like me. Favorite title. Love it. I love being a mom. Oh my gosh, I love being a mom so much. It's my favorite thing. It is the thing where you're like, oh my gosh, I just need a break. I just need a minute. I just need a minute. And the second that you step in the other room, you go, oh, but
Where are they?
okay. Let me just pop. Let me scroll through pictures of them endlessly on my phone. And then my husband's like, my love, can you just give yourself a minute? Why don't you go work out? Why don't you go take a bath? I'm like, I know, but I just want to cuddle for. It's the parenting paradigm where it is so full on, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Megan just gets on my nerves. Can I just say that? That girl just gets on my nerves with her superficial behavior, her attitude, the way she speaks. She's just so cringe with her opinions and thoughts about her life because her life is fake and phony. It really is. I mean, I just listen to her and I think, girl, wait till your kids get older. They are not going to like you. Your kids are not going to like you because you are this. She's the kind of mom when people come over. Oh hi, you know, and then, you know, behind the scenes, she's smacking her kids upside their heads and telling them off and, you know, not being the person she wants people to see her to be. I mean, we all are trying to be cordial at the end of the day, but I just think Meghan has this super uber level of fakeness that is so cringe that her kids are going to just really despise that about her because they're going to know the true her, you know, and it's really up there for her. It's so up there. I can't.
But also, what really caught my attention is the following, Pat. Oh, my love,
Oh
Harry.
yeah, my love, my love.
But also, why would you need to scroll through pictures of your children if they're right outside? Why don't
Right,
you just go outside with your
right.
children?
See your
Which is
children. Shit,
that
my
didn't
children,
make
they got on my nerves. I'm telling you, my children, they got on my nerves.
but
Okay,
that didn't make sense. It's like,
I know. It's like
go
you two.
outside for 1 second. I need to scroll endlessly, and
Yeah,
because they went out of the room, then go chase the kids.
yeah, go
Does
go
that
be
make
with your
sense to you?
kids. Like
Does this
sometimes
make sense?
you have these. Of course, we love our children, but who gloats over their children like this? Like you know, it's just that's why they're gonna know. They're gonna turn on you. I can't wait. It's gonna happen. They're gonna turn on you, your girl, especially your girl, your daughter. She's gonna look at you like,
Have you seen how they refer to Archie as a second class citizen? It's never Archie. It's always Lily with her blue eyes. Remember?
oh yeah, they're just. It's coming. It's coming.
But but do you believe? But can you believe? Do you believe that little story that she said that the kids can't be out
No,
of their sight for 1 second?
right? Yeah, she's that Google eyed over her children.
But why
She's
would you need to scroll on the phone if they're right
right,
there?
exactly. That's the whole point. It's like she
Can
is
you imagine?
overly exaggerating the children and her love for her children. It's
And if the
unnecessary.
role of mom is the most important, why isn't she Meghan, mom of two, instead Meghan,
Right.
Duchess of Sussex?
That's
Oh,
right.
and before we go, now did you see? And I think that the reason why she wanted this as ever in the Times Magazine is because she knew that the Archwell scandal was coming with the Muslim ladies. This is why in the in the Times 100 she
Mhm.
comes as Duchess of Sussex, founder of As Ever, not Archwell,
Oh.
because she knew that this scandal was coming with the Muslim women.
So she wants to disassociate with the foundation and be more part of her
Archwell,
own
well,
commercial.
why would she put As Ever when it's not even a registered brand or
Yeah,
anything?
why not say your foundation where that's where your good work, your humanitarian work is coming through? That's
Yeah,
a good point. That's a good point. Before
because
we go,
she
just
knew, she knew, Pat, she knew.
yeah, she knew. She knew. It was a lot more is coming, girlfriend. Lots more coming for you. Okay. You can try to divert all you want
You
to.
know what I want? Megyn Kelly's gonna be there. And this is the thing. This is why I'm telling you they're aligning themselves with the Republican Party because the people who are getting is Megyn Kelly's one of them. And I'm
Mm.
pretty sure Megyn Kelly, if she takes the mic, I think she's gonna have a choice few words for Meghan.
Well, I hope she does. She will.
Trump, Elon Musk, JD Vance.
Oh,
Those
okay.
are part of the 100 list.
I can't wait. We'll see.
But what did you want to say before we go,
I
sweetie?
was just gonna say acknowledge the last couple
Oh
super
yes, of
chats before
course,
we
of
go.
course, of course.
Then we can get out of here. Could it be that someone wrote that check to make that statement of pulling Archwell support public? Ziggy Lee is a chick with a crown. Thank you, Ziggy. What do you think, Paula?
I don't understand the question. Sorry. What do you mean somebody wrote them a check to make a statement of pulling out? What do you
Remember
mean?
the letter about the Muslim lady, the lady you were just talking about, how they are discontinuing the support for the Muslim
Yeah, but
charity?
that's because they made it public. Archwell leaked it that they were distance. That had Archwell just simply not supported them, they just could have said, why would they need to make a letter or why
Right.
would they need to
So
make it
she's
public?
saying,
This just
yeah. So
makes
maybe
sense. They don't,
someone
we don't
paid them.
donate you, huh?
Yeah. So that's what she's saying. So maybe someone wrote a check to make them make that statement that they were pulling the support. You
No,
think?
I think it was Archwell. I think it was Meghan who wanted to distance herself because you know how Meghan goes people.
Okay. She wanted to ghost them.
Yeah,
So
she
it
wanted to
was
ghost him because now that Trump has won, being pro Palestine is not very popular. So she is ghosting them.
Oh,
And
okay.
she wants the people to know that we didn't know that they were pro hate speech. And this is why the people are very offended, because the woman said that was not hate speech. Why would they say hate speech? That
Yeah.
really affects them negatively as an organization.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
They didn't need to make
A
that letter. They
statement.
didn't need to make that public. They could have just said, next year we don't have money for you guys. Sorry. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Right, right.
And the
Okay.
other one is,
This Crystal or
oh, it's the same thing that we
Chrysler. Okay, yes. Okay. Oh, but she has another question. She grew up watching the Queen because of her mother.
oh,
And she saw that the Queen, when she visited her country as a young girl, she just loves it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the Queen, she left a great legacy. It's unfortunate that Meghan had to make her last years of her life horrible and miserable, or just difficult, more difficult than it needed to be. But yeah, we all, I mean, I know I have my memories growing up watching Diana vicariously, then seeing the royal family. But yeah, I mean, Meghan has tapped into a lot of emotions that people have with their connection to the royal family, you know? So this is how you really anger a lot of people, when you upset their deep connection to something that is so endearing to them. And that's what I have. I'm offended, highly offended by what Meghan has done, because my connection and endearment to the late Diana. So I can imagine what the people of England feel, considering what Meghan has done to the first family of England. I think she doesn't understand the depths of how horribly wrong she has treated this family.
or does she care about? If she
She
doesn't
probably,
care about her own
but you
family,
know what? One day she just might, because she will never get to where she's thriving to get to. She's on a road trying to get to a destination of super global recognition. She will never reach that road.
well, she is infamous worldwide, but
In
she's
a
not
in
famous
a
worldwide.
right. In a bad way, and in a way that's not going to make her the money that she was hoping it would make her money.
Well, if fashion houses are telling her don't wear our stuff because she's poor Carolina Herrera, it's fed
Right.
up with her wearing her stuff. If you look,
Exactly.
they don't publish it on their website when she wears something of theirs, like they would
Right.
to Diana or Catherine. As soon as
To,
Catherine wears something from their houses, they immediately have it on their websites. They don't.
yeah. So to my point, she will never get there. She will never arrive at that destination where she'll be loved and people will pay money and she'll make millions, and from her brand of who she is, she's ruined her reputation. She's never going to get to where she's trying to get. It's over.
Yeah, it's over for Meghan
Yes, it
and
is.
for Harry, and
And
they
for Harry.
left. Nobody forced them.
Right.
Nobody forced them. They actually, the queen was even generous and gave them a year to think about it. And
Right.
instead, they used that year to trash them, to give them the finger, to spit in their faces. They left. And I hope that William does the right thing to preserve and restore the prestige of the British monarchy, which is,
Absolutely.
and you need to take tough decisions.
Yes, you do. And this is a tough one that I think a lot of people will support.
Oh,
They
yeah,
will.
absolutely.
They will support this
Absolutely.
decision. So William, Prince William, we rooting for you.
We're
We
watching.
we're watching. When you
We're
become
watching him.
king, we're waiting for those titles to be stripped. Strip,
Yeah,
strip,
and
strip.
more regulations, like more regulations to the titles and stuff.
Right.
He just made Jason Knopf, the CEO of Earthshot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the guy that the whistleblower,
The
for Meghan. He
whistleblower.
just made it
Yeah,
the CEO of
that's
Earth.
right. You're rewarded. You do good things. And Jason did a good thing, right? He did good things.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, guys, for
All
joining
right.
me. See you
Thanks
next
so much,
Saturday, God
everybody.
willing. And we love you for Easter. We always appreciate your support. Thanks for the super chats, the PayPal donations. Don't forget that PDina has a charity. I will be putting the link underneath so you can guys go crazy and donate in their PayPal. And as usual, what's happening? You're not buying my merch. Well, I complain.
Oh, yes. We have to buy the merch of Paula M. We have to buy your
Yes, because
merch.
everything goes to the shelter now. It's
You have
officially a
cute
shelter.
merch. You
Yeah,
have really cute
it's a
merch. I'm
shelter
gonna buy
now.
something. I'm gonna go in there and buy something. I'll buy
Yeah,
something.
but it's a shelter, now
Mhm.
it's officially a shelter. Thank God, because it was a
Yeah,
lot.
it was
But
a
even
lot
with
for
the
you. Yeah.
shelter, so much, because these are girls, And it's like when they're so frail. And this is why it makes me so angry, that platform that Harry and Meghan are have acquired instantly just by the family they're born. Well,
Mm,
Harry, the family he was born into, and Meghan, the Mary she married,
mhm.
and we have to fight, and PDINA, you guys have no idea PDINA'S everything, and like me
What
here.
I'm going through, yeah.
And if we've only had that at like 1/10 of that platform,
Mhm.
the things
It's
that
a
we
shame.
do. But
Yeah.
thank you very much, guys, and we'll
Thanks
see
for
you
the super
Monday, God
chat.
willing. And don't forget, PDINA has a live on Thursdays. I have a live
Thursdays.
to celebrate the Queen's birthday on Monday. Anybody's welcome to drop by to say hi to the Queen and to celebrate her life, her iconic thing. And don't forget to watch our videos and subscribe
Yeah.
to our channels. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you
Guys.
for
Have a great
everything. Thank you,
Bye.
everybody. Bye bye.